Morning, kids. It's January 12th, and I hope everybody's doing good. Just got done with a long run, so I'm trying to keep myself accountable. That's an hour and 12 minutes, 6 miles, running at 5 miles an hour. And today I just wanted to say real quick that we get motivated. Ooh, wow, look at that. We get super motivated to do certain distances or certain speeds or certain goals, time goals, PRs, personal records for races, and we get kind of caught up in that sometimes, and that's a problem. So here's an example. I am training right now for the Big Lake Half Marathon, which is May 17th. I'm not sure the exact date. I know it's in mid-May, and it's like mid-ish January right now. So I'm up in my distance. I'm at 6 miles right now. I'm up in by a mile a week. And then once I get to half marathon distance, I'm just going to continue to run a half marathon distance every weekend. And might actually add 2 long runs back to back. So a Saturday long run and a Sunday long run, so that from that half marathon, I've actually built up enough endurance to be able to just continue training for a marathon, and then maybe find a marathon to jump into sometime in the fall. So I say all that to say this. Mary and I were sitting around last night and discussing just goals and just kind of talking about fitness and things like that. And she said, I don't know if I'm going to do Big Lake. I got Big Lake coming up, and I might do that. I might not. I don't know. And she was kind of wishy-washy about it, which is, very reasonable. She hasn't done a lot of mileage. She hasn't really done any mileage for a few weeks now. And I've been adding distance to the point where if I really needed to, I'm at enough of a level of fitness right now that I could do it. And I could finish the race. I wouldn't have a good time, and I probably wouldn't feel very good muscle-wise and joint-wise at the end of it all, but I could probably do it. So the question becomes, if you can do something, if that's on the very edge of your threshold for being able to perform a specific task, and this goes for weightlifting too, and I'll talk about that in a second, but if you find that you can really, really, really push yourself and that you can go as far as you want to or further, is that something you should do? And, of course, I'm like the devil on Mary's shoulder. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we can get ready. We can get you ready. You can run it. It's no problem. But I was thinking about myself today and my training that I'm doing and my plan that I'm trying to accomplish, and the fact that when I hit about 3 miles today, so when I got about halfway through, around 36 minutes, I was ready to just be done. I was ready to hit the stop button, but I pushed myself and I got through that because I knew that ultimately my goal was to do 6 today. I did 5 last weekend. I'm going to do 6 this weekend, 7 next weekend. It's a non-negotiable for me. To a point, if I hurt myself or if it's really not happening, then I'm not going to do it. But I got past that 36 minutes. I kept going. And so by the time I got to 48 minutes and hit 4 miles, and by the time I got to an hour and I hit 5 miles, I was feeling better. And then I got to like 6.5 miles and 6 3/4 miles, and I'm coming right up on an hour and 12, which is where I'm supposed to stop. And I'm like, damn, I could just keep going. I could make this 7 miles. I could make this 8 miles. I could just see how far I can go before I just can't go anymore. And is that an intelligent thing to do? No, and here's why. I could do 7 miles this weekend when I was only supposed to do 6, but I'm supposed to do 7 next weekend. So what happens when 7 is a challenge next weekend? Or when I am able to do 7 this week, so maybe I just fast forward a week and I do 8 next weekend. You start to kind of get yourself out of a sequence and put yourself into a situation where you have an obligation for future weeks to hit a number that you might not otherwise be able to hit. So you've got to really consider whether it's intelligent to push yourself. Now back to the Mary thing. I don't want her to be discouraged when she runs. I want her to have a good time, and I want her to continue to want to run, and I don't want her to injure herself. So, is it right for me to try to be the devil on her shoulder and say, hey, Mary, you really should commit to doing the Big Lake Half Marathon. You really should push yourself. And the answer is no. She ultimately needs to be the one who decides what she can do, what distance she can accomplish safely, and what she can accomplish in a way that's not going to make her want to hate running when she's done with it. If you have a particular goal and you set out to accomplish that goal by any means necessary, once you accomplish it, you can be in one of 2 different places. You can be happy with that goal and you can feel good about accomplishing that goal and want to continue to build on that, or you can be like, damn, That was no fun. I don't want to do that anymore. I need to take a break. I'm burnt out. I hurt. Wasn't comfortable. I didn't have a good time. I don't want to do it right now. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm taking a break. And that's where I don't want her to be. So ultimately, I want her to make that decision. And I don't want to be the one that pushes her either way. I want to be there and want to be able to support her. So it's important, if you have goals that you want to accomplish, you have people around who are going to support you, but aren't going to necessarily push you beyond where you want to go. And let's close and talk about weightlifting. I was watching a Joe Rogan podcast clip on YouTube yesterday or the day before. Joe Rogan is Joe Rogan. So if you haven't watched him before, he's pretty opinionated. He's pretty political sometimes. He's pretty belligerent sometimes, but he's also really intelligent when it comes to fitness, when it comes to weightlifting, when it comes to mixed martial arts. That's what he does, and he's an MMA announcer. He's done mixed martial arts. He's a pretty fit guy. So he was talking about repetitions in weightlifting, and how a lot of people will go and they'll try to max out. They'll go until they absolutely can't go anymore. They'll go till the point of failure is what it's called. So you're doing, say, 5 sets of 12 reps, and you get to that 5th set, and you're at rep number 6, and say you're doing chest presses, and you get that 6th one out, and you're like, wow, I can't do anymore. And the person that you're with is spotting you is like, push, just push, 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 push. So you do 7. Oh man, I can't do it anymore. And then you just keep going. You push, push, push out to 8, and you might only get to 9 or 10. You might not be able to do those 12 reps, but those last few reps you're doing to failure. Well, Joe says that's bullshit. Don't do that. That is absolutely counterproductive to intelligent muscle development. He said what you should actually do is do lower reps and take like huge breaks in between. Take like 10 minutes. And that doesn't really make sense to me, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, the whole point of building your muscle is that you're going to strain your muscle, you're going to damage your muscle essentially, and your muscle's going to repair itself and be bigger and be more developed. Well, does it make sense to put yourself in a point where you're truly damaging your muscles and then you have to have like a significant period of recovery? Or does it make sense to strain your muscles enough to promote growth but not hurt yourself, and basically be able to do it every day? If you come out and you do 5 reps, wait a while, 5 reps, wait a while, 5 reps, wait a while, and you're doing like manageable weight, you're not absolutely maxing out, then that's more effective. And it's the same with running. If you do huge distances that are going to put you at a disadvantage for the next day and the next day and the next day, you're not doing yourself any favors. You're trying to build endurance. And the point is, if you do a long run on Sunday, like I did today, you should be able to do a good recovery run tomorrow and not be killing yourself trying to accomplish it, not be in a position of pain, because you want 2 things at the end of this. You want to have running be an enjoyable experience because you want to continue doing it. And you want to be able to continue doing it. You don't want to hurt yourself. You don't want to get in a position where running is painful, and every time you run, you're essentially putting yourself at risk of injury or actually injuring yourself. So make sure that you approach your goals in a reasonable way. Make sure that you consider what those goals are and give yourself a reasonable amount of time to achieve those goals. And if it feels to you like you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure, and you're going to have to, really exert yourself, and you're really going to have to put yourself at the edge to try to make that progress, you're not going to have a good time getting there. And when you finally get there, you're going to have accomplished something, but are you going to want to do the next thing? So I just want you guys to keep wanting to do the next thing. I want to do the next thing, and I want us to all be healthy enough and fit enough and uninjured enough and in a state of enjoyment enough to want to continue to do the next thing. So whatever your next thing is, I hope you're doing it, and I hope you're having a good time doing it. I hope you're injury-free. I hope that you're not pushing yourself too hard, but I hope that you're pushing yourself enough. So have a good time, have a good Sunday, and keep doing it.